Okay, so let's start with another exercise on customer segmentation using recency, frequency, and monetary approach. Right? So here we are going to have a data of a retail outlet. So let's first clear the output. So go to this, clear the output, and then all the outputs will get cleared. Right, yeah, so it is done that. Now we are going to start. So first we are going to learn how to implement customer segmentation using RFM, that is recency, frequency, and monetary analysis from scratch. Right, so we are going to run this. Nothing will happen. Customer segmentation is a method of dividing customers into groups of customers, groups of or clusters on the basis of common characteristics. We are doing customer segmentation using RFM approach, as we already discussed. So let us run this also. Then next is we are importing all the required libraries, like that is pandas, matplotlib, seaborn, etc. The date time is also important in this, so that also we can run, and then we can go for our importing the data set also, because that is also important, because unless we have that, how can we do that? So that is also done. Now the data set that we have is a online retail.excel. This is an Excel file, so that is why it is the data frame is data, and the complete code for that is pd.read excel, because it is Excel data. This is complete path of that, where the this file is lying. So when we run this data is also come to the data frame, and then we are going to use this data. So once this is done, then we will go further for getting more details about the data set itself. Right. So let it be over, then only we can start, because unless we have the data we cannot do anything. It is taking some time, although the file is also slightly bigger, but it should not take that much of time. But let's see, when we have to wait, we don't have any choice, because we need this data set. So we will have to wait for that only. The code is same with whatever we write every time, because here we are only using the Excel sheet, because the data is residing in an Excel sheet, so we took that only. We could have converted this also into CSV, and then we could have taken, but it doesn't matter. You can use Excel sheet or maybe CSV. You have to only give the details like this, as it is mentioned here, that PD is of course pandas and read Excel. So it is coming from the Excel sheet, and the data file is online retail.xlsx. Right, so this complete thing has to be given. Right, so then only you will be able to get your data on this data frame, that is data. Whatever name you want to give, you can give that. That is not, and here before that we have already imported all the required library, that is pandas, which is also for the data frame. Matplotlib, it is for the plotting the graph, and seaborn is also for that. Date time of course is required for getting the date time, because the you need the dates, you need the period, so that is why we need to import. So it is done now. So now we can proceed further. Now as usual, let us try and explore our data. So go for this data head, so you can get all these details, top 5 rows, invoice, stock code, description, quantity, invoice date, unit price, etc. Whatever details are there, all that has come. Then we can also see the last 5 records, last 5 rows, so that we can get with the data dot tail. That also we can get from this. So these are, now you can see that total number of records are 5,41,908. That is the last record. So the total data size is quite big, right? That is why it has taken that much of time. Now data info, we can get that also with the help of this code. So we can get all these details like invoice number, stock code, description, quantity, invoice, etc., etc. So all this has come. This is for our information, so that in case anything required, then we can definitely look for that. Then we are going to get the customer ID. So here we are going to, with this code, that is data, that is our data frame, and the data is again taken as the recipient data frame, and then we are checking for the null data. That is, the customer ID should not have the null. That means it should have the customer ID. So for that we are just running this, and we will see whether it is there or not. So we, after running, the data has come into data again. Now we are going to filter it. So filter the data from this particular data frame, that is on the basis of country and customer code, right? So on the basis of country and customer code, we are going to drop the duplicates. In case there is any duplicate, then we are going to drop them. So we can run this. So then we are going to filter the data. Then now the data is available in this data frame. So filter data, then country, then what is the value, and then count means number of records that we have. And then we are going to plot a graph or a bar chart, which is means that it is a bar chart. So we can run that, and we get a bar chart like this. So on the seeing at the graph itself, you can see that there are so many countries: UK, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Spain, then Belgium, Switzerland, Portugal, Italy, then Finland, and then Austria, right? So all these countries are there, and this is the total number of counts which are there. Customer IDs are there from different countries, but we can see that the maximum number of customers are from the UK, right? So that becomes, that is obvious. So that is why the visualization is very helpful. You may not go further into details for other countries. You can only focus on the UK. Now we can observe most of the customers are from the UK, United Kingdom. So you can filter data from for United Kingdom customer only, because there is no need. So that is why you can definitely filter that. So that's how we can do that. Then we are again taking the data into, now this we can create another variable or another data frame where we are getting the data only for the UK, United Kingdom. So UK underscore data is equal to data, and data is equal to country. That is what we want, which is equal to United Kingdom. So we can run, and only UK data will now be available in this particular variable, right? So you can get the details of this now, because this is now our working data frame. So we are getting the details of this particular data frame only, which has all these like invoice number, stock code, etc., etc. And these are the details of this particular data frame. Now we are getting further details onto this UK data, that is from description, that is statistical information, count, mean, standard deviation, minimum 25 percentile, 50 percentile, etc., etc. Then further on to this, we are getting the UK data is equal to for what is the quantity like, only those quantities which are more than 0. That means non-zeros are not required. And then you are getting the UK data info. So this we can get with this code. So we can run this, and you can get all these things from here, right? So you can see that just by 1 line, 2 line code, you can get so many things. Now the next is that we want to get the UK data, and then customer ID, invoice date, and then invoice number, quantity, and unit price. So we want these details above from this data. That is the purpose. So we can again run this, and it is done. Now you can get the UK data total price, that also, because here we have not got the total price. So now you are getting the total price is equal to quantity into the unit price. So what is the total number of quantity, and multiplied by the unit price, so that you can get the total price. So you can get the total price also calculated. Again, simple code. Next is that we are getting the invoice date, right? So invoice date dot minimum, then UK data, invoice date max. So what is the lowest date? That means you want a period from this date to this date, minimum and the maximum. So that is why you are getting written this code, and you got this data also available. And now you can see that timestamp is from, see, 9/12/2011. Sorry, from this minimum, the minimum is here. So from 1/12/2010 to 9/12/2011. So this is the period that we are getting this data, right? Now present is DT, date time. That is why we have imported that date time, and 10/12/2011, right? So present is this. So UK data, invoice date, PD, that is Panda to date time, and then we are getting the invoice date. So within that we are getting the details, right? So we can run that also. Now you are getting the, again further on to that, we are getting the data head, the details of that, again the same top 5 rows that we have got. Now for RFM analysis, now our actual analysis, that is RFM, recency or recency, frequency and monetary analysis. We are going to perform following operation. That is, for recency, calculate the number of days between the present day and the date of the last purchase for each customer. Then for frequency, calculate the number of orders for each customer, and for monetary, calculate sum of the purchase price for each customer, right? And to get that, we write this code, that is RFM is equal to UK data group by customer ID. This is the basis on which we are grouping it, and aggregate on invoice date, invoice number and total price. And lambda date is equal to present to this. So that is the period, and length, the total number of records which are there, and the price. So simple code, only thing that we should know about it. That's important. That is why we are learning it. So we can learn it, and then we can go for just running it. So when we run this execution of this, you will get this here we get in RFM, we get all these details. Then we are going to print all these, that what are the columns that we have. So columns that we have: invoice date, invoice number, total price, and this data type is object type, right? So all this thing is also available to you. Now in RFM columns, we want the monetary, frequency and recency. So we can run that also. It has come. Now RFM recency is equal to RFM recency, then as type integer. So this is the integer type. That means we want the whole number, right? That also has done. And now we are going to get for the RFM head, the top 5 rows for this RFM that we have got. That is monetary, frequency and recency. That is top 5 records that are available for this particular data that we have filtered out after doing all this exercise that we have done earlier. And now we are going to get the customers with lowest recency, highest frequency and monetary amount considered as the top customer, right? That is the basis. So QCut is quantile based discretization function, and then QCut is bins the data based on sample quantities. For example, 1000 values for 4 quantiles would produce a categorical object indicating quantile membership for each customer. So R quantile is PD, QCut, RFM, recency, and then there are four quarters. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then F quantile. Here F quartiles are PD, QCut, RFM, then frequency. These are also 4, but then in the reverse order, right? Because it is going from the top to the lowest one. Similarly for the monetary also, we are getting M quartiles, then PD, QCut, monetary, 4 again, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. So when we run this, nothing will happen, but internally it has done that, and now we are going to get the head, that is top 5 records of this after doing this kind of a filtering. So here we are getting all this, right? Monetary, frequency, recency, R quartile, F quartile, M quartile, as per the code that we have done here. And after going for this head, we are getting the details like this. Next, that we are going to get the combine all 3 quartiles, R quartile, F quartile, M quartile in a single column. This sum will help to segment the customers well, right? So that is the purpose of this of course this is just for our understanding. Then RFM score is going to be RFM R quartile S type string plus RFM F quartile S type string. Again we are converting it into getting all string, and then RFM R quartile as a strip as type string. So all the three are strip, and then we are going to get the top 5 records of this RFM head. So you can see that all the whatever we wanted has been done in this, and RFM score has that details. And when we display that or print that, you can get monetary frequency, recency, R quartile, F quartile, M quartile, and the RFM score, which has been, here we have created this RFM score with the help of this, right? Next is that we are going to check for this, that is filter and top best customers. So RFM score, then it is equal to 441. Why 441? Because you can see that here we are getting the maximum highest number is 325, and so we are only focusing on that. There is no point in going for these smaller numbers, because they are this total, it is monetary, because there is no point in having it doing any analysis on these. They are just 2 or 3 or 0, so this is insignificant. So that is why we are focusing on this. So 441 has been taken, and we are again going for RFM score 441, sort values monetary on the ascending order, and then ascending order is false. That means we want descending order and head. So we can go for this, and once we go, it is all coming in the descending order now, right? Customer ID, monetary is this, recency is this, R quartile, F quartile, and M quartile, right? So this is how you can do this analysis, which is very simple, but definitely one has to know about it as to how to go. So we have seen details about customer segmentation. We have learned about the customer segmentation and what customer segmentation is, and we have also understood the need of customer segmentation, types of segmentation, RFM analysis, implementation of RFM, and also we covered some basic concepts of pandas such as handling, duplicates, group by, and queue cut, etc. that we have already done in the beginning. So this is what we have learned in this particular algorithm, that is customer segment, using this RFM approach. Thank you.